Hello, welcome to Matburn. We're talking girls state this week. We are joined by two state champs, Evelyn Holmes and Kaylee Holder, and Evelyn's coach, Matt Pipkins. And we have the chairperson of the Alabama Girls Wrestling Task Force. I can never remember all the words to that title that you have. Shane Dempsey and Don Harrison, our Matburn crew. So welcome to Matburn. We're really excited. We got Girls State coming up. It's my favorite tournament of the year. And I had so much fun last year. We're excited to do it again. We're having a big push to sanction girls wrestling this season. And we just realized just today that if we sanction girls wrestling, that we probably can't cover it anymore. So
you're right.
Yeah. So we're going to reverse gears and push for not sanctioning. So that Matt
no. How about we push for sanctioning and still get you guys into Huntsville? How about that?
Yep.
All right. Well, that's probably harder than sanctioning girls wrestling than getting Matt to cover it.
Yeah.
But we'll try. We'll try to behave ourselves and make a good impression in the next 11 months or so.
That's a good plan.
So we've been wanting to interview Evelyn and Kaylee for quite a while now. Evelyn and Kaylee are both state champs. Evelyn has a chance to become the first 6-time girls state champ. There have only been 3 6-time wrestlers in the history of Alabama, and that's Zach Van Alst and Brandon Womack, and I think Michael Jordan or Johnson, going way back when. Can't remember exactly his last name, but there have only been 3 boys who have ever done it. But Evelyn's on track already to be a 6-timer. Kaylee, what year are you?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior. And how long have you been wrestling?
Since my freshman year.
Okay. But they've only had girls wrestling for 2 years. So you were wrestling against the boys the first year?
Yes, sir.
How'd you do with that?
I won some.
As a first-year wrestler, that's pretty good.
Thank you.
If you had to wrestle boys this year, how would it go?
I actually did wrestle a boy this year. I went up a weight class to 170 and took him to the third period. The score was like 10-7 maybe, and he ended up pinning me with 17 seconds left. So what a shame.
Well, he pinned a state champ, so he should be pretty proud of himself.
Yeah.
And we were talking before the show about how Evelyn has wrestled boys in the past, including Jeff Williams' son, Bradley, who was a runner-up at state last year. And Evelyn was telling us how she regularly manhandles Bradley. And, it's kind of embarrassing, actually.
Yep. Yeah.
How easy it is to whip his butt, right, Evelyn?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Matt, how many girls you got on your team this year? Is it just Evelyn?
I've got Evelyn and Lariah Castro.
And what weight is she at?
She's about 132.
Okay. And you're both planning on coming on Saturday?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How proud of you? How proud were you last year when Evelyn won it as a 7th grader?
Oh, I mean, I was thrilled. She gets in there and she works hard, and she grinds against anybody that we stick her with, and when she goes out there, she's just all out. She doesn't worry about who she's wrestling. She just gets out there and wrestles. It was a proud moment, really, for all of us.
How is she in the practice room? Is she a leader yet, or is she just still too young to inspire the others?
Well, we do have a pretty young team, but right now she's emerging to that level. We just have a lot of 9th graders that are all still just trying to figure out where they fit. But she is emerging. She's kind of part of that core that's eventually going to lead.
Technically, how does she rank with on a skill level among the boys in your room?
Let's see. We're ranking like 1 to 10. I would say she's pretty technically sound. I would say like a 7, at least. There's still some things, we have to tweak here and there, but for the most part, I mean, she knows what she's doing. So she's starting to be kind of one of those that you can, all the younger and newer kids can kind of emulate of like what she's doing and where she's moving around. I mean, she's got great hip movement. So I think she's kind of becoming that person that, some of these other kids can, especially newer kids, can watch and really gain some ideas of how things are supposed to look.
You did you come up with the boys for your Thompson duel last week?
Yes, sir.
That was a pretty rough
yes, sir,
one.
I did.
Shane and I were covering it.
It was. Yeah. So, I really love what y'all are doing. And I know, I guess the association kind of stepped in and told y'all not to show it. So I'm kind of in their corner a little bit on that one, because that was rough. But that's just something we needed. We've never faced Thompson we've never faced them in an actual duel. So we've wrestled them before at mostly sectionals and state. So getting 14 bouts like that in a row, it's pretty tough. I mean, that's a team that there's really no weak spots, and we needed to kind of get that kind of licking to really see what it's like. So it was a rough hour or so, but it's something we can learn from.
What do you say to a team after that on the way home? It's a long ride home, I assume.
Oh yeah. I mean, really, you just have to tell them you can either quit right here, or you can keep going. You can't measure yourself just on this one match. I think they all kind of realize how far they've really got to go to compete on a state level like that. Because again, we've got so many ninth graders that really haven't been able to be in a situation like that. So out of the 2 that were in the lineup, only 2 of them had actually been to state. We've got McFarland, who's been there the last 3 years, and then Cody Kirk, who's also a ninth grader. He wrestled at state last year, and I think them getting close to action as far as going against state champs and finalists, I think it kind of opened their eyes to how far we actually got to go, or how far we've got to go. But the most important thing is you got to keep going, and that's pretty much what I told them afterwards. Is you just got to keep going. How long the road is now. So we got to get to walking and pushing.
Well, I would suggest, being a former coach of girls, the more girls you add to your room, the more mature that room will be.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
What's the hardest part about recruiting girls for your team?
I think for me, it's really trying to understand, I guess, what's really going to get this girl to try out wrestling. I speak to girls all the time, especially in my classroom, about potentially getting on there. And, I've even had some that were like, we don't want Evelyn, we don't want to wrestle Evelyn, but, that's no.
I hope you told them nobody wants to
calm her down a
wrestle
little bit.
Evelyn.
Do what?
Nobody wants to wrestle Evelyn.
Yeah.
Welcome to the club.
So yeah, you and half the other boys. But no, it's just kind of one of those things where trying something new is always scary, especially trying a sport that's as physical as wrestling is. It's just hard to find the right girls for us to I guess find the right girls that would be like, let's do this. so we've had like one or two, you know, each year. But it's just never really happened for us at the same time of having like 5 or 6 girls come out.
Have you had Evelyn start on your boys varsity team this year?
She did start a couple over the weekend. She's she has been kind of like rotating with some of the guys. And I believe she's won. See, we won. I think you wrestled what, 2? 2 on Saturday. She wrestled at 120.
Yeah. And then a forfeit at 120. Yep.
Yeah, that's right. And then we had a match earlier last week that she started as well.
She could have pulled off a victory at Thompson.
Yeah, maybe.
That was the big victory, is the forfeit at 106, wasn't it?
106. Yeah.
That's your weight class, isn't it, Evelyn?
This year I'm wrestling 113.
Oh, you're 113. Okay.
Yeah.
So, is she gonna have a chance to go to boys sectionals at all, or is there a
she may.
starter? Okay, you gonna have a wrestle off for that?
I might. We're kind of like busy all this week, so it's trying to find a way to get it in. That's really kind of you know, it's kind of a matter of when it would happen.
You have to get in the 5 matches. Is that what the requirement is, or is it 2 matches? What's the minimum?
I believe it's 5, if I'm not mistaken. And so she wrestled at the Hewitt, the grappling girls. So I don't, I'm not 100% sure if that one you know, if that one counts. I imagine it would, because I mean, it's still technically varsity. So I don't really know how all the girls wrestling versus you know, everybody wrestling really counts.
All right. Well, Kaylee, super excited to meet you finally, because I've been hearing all about you since last summer, or since the fall, when you placed at Super 32, our first girl to ever do that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
What place did you come in?
3rd.
3rd place. That's pretty good. Most of our guys don't place ever at Super 32.
Yeah.
So what'd you think of that experience?
Well, I lost my first match going in there. I wrestled kind of scared. Like, I was nervous and had the like jitters and whatnot. And then after I fought back for 3rd, like, it was just super cool to see myself like push myself that far, because I didn't think I was gonna have a chance, honestly. Some of the girls that I wrestled previously, like in the summer, like I won the qualifier, and I wrestled 3 girls and I pinned all 3 of them in like the first 2 minutes. So I was kind of like, Super 32 is going to be kind of different and kind of a lot harder, but I was really proud of myself.
Good. So what kind of advice did you get after you lost the first one? How'd your coach motivate you to fight all the way back for 3rd?
Or both of them, they were just like, I was really down on myself, and I ended up crying after I lost, and I was really disappointed in how I performed, because I wrestled so bad.
Sometimes that's a lot of the boys do.
Yeah.
After losing. Yeah.
They kind of just told me that I'm better than what I wrestled, and I just need to go out there and perform to my best abilities.
So who was your first match against?
A girl from Oklahoma.
And did she go on to win the whole thing?
No, I believe she went on to the finals, and then she lost to the girl from West Virginia, maybe. Her name was Kaylee Hall, I think.
Okay, so you didn't get any revenge on her in 3rd place match? No.
Mm-mm.
I see. So, and then I heard you went to Fargo this summer. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
How'd that go? Was that scary?
Yeah, it was. I went 2-2. I lost my first match again, but then I wrestled to the blood rounds, beat a girl from North Dakota and a girl from Ohio. And then the match for the blood rounds match was a girl against Iowa. It was against a girl from Iowa, and she ended up pinning me, I believe so. But it was a good experience. It was my first ever tournament, and I'd only been wrestling freestyle for 3 weeks, so it was kind of strange to even be there.
So what do you like better, freestyle or folk style?
Freestyle, so much more.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Evelyn, when are you going to Fargo?
This coming up summer.
This summer you'll be a first year
Yes.
cadet or second year cadet?
First year. I wasn't old enough to go last year.
But definitely this year, right?
Yes, sir.
Now I understand you're a multi-sport talent. You don't just wrestle.
Yes, sir.
What else do you do?
I also play soccer.
Soccer, and that's it?
I ran cross country the 8th grade year, but I stopped that so I could go to more national wrestling tournaments for the off season.
I bet your coach likes to hear that.
A little bit. No.
I was a soccer player myself, so I can't get down with soccer.
Stop talking about soccer. We don't talk about soccer on here. Evelyn, I know I actually watched you over in Georgia for one of the Super 32 qualifiers. How long have you been wrestling freestyle?
Last year was my first full year freestyle.
Okay. And for both of you, you and Kaylee, do you guys like the transition from folk style back into freestyle? Obviously, Kaylee, you seemed really excited when Scott asked you about freestyle.
Yes, sir.
You guys both preferring wrestling freestyle in the off season?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we like hearing that. Big fans. We love freestyle and
We
breaking.
like dropping people on their heads. It's awesome.
That's right. But yeah, I've had a lot of our guys say the same thing. It's a tough transition to get out of your freestyle mindset and to get back into folk style. But good, glad you guys are getting that experience. That's incredible.
What sort of what clubs do you both go to? What kind of support do your schools have?
Evelyn, you want to go first?
Sure. I go to Assassins down in Enterprise, Alabama.
Who's the head coach there?
Kyle Stifler.
Okay. Kaylee, you got anything down in Daphne?
Oh, yes, sir. So last year we started a club called Trojan Wrestling Academy. It's ran by Greg Jeffcoat's two sons, Will Jeffcoat and River Jeffcoat, River Hughes.
Oh, that's good. So they got a nice feeder program, and they have to answer to the big boss at the high school. That's good. Now, Matt, do you have a close contact with Assassins?
Yeah. So I mean, I talk to Kyle at least, Coach Kyle, at least once, twice a week. Because I mean, we're starting to get, we started 4 years ago, and now a lot of his kids are starting to kind of move into ours, like Evelyn, like Coach Kyle's son, Cameron, and a couple of the other guys. We're starting to move into high school now. So we pretty much are starting to have the same guys. So we talk quite a bit about the guys and and the girls about, kind of their strengths and weaknesses and all that kind of stuff on, what we can both do to help improve them and make them better.
Excellent. John, are you gonna jump in here?
Yeah, I'm trying to. You got to quit talking.
Right?
No, there's no stopping me. You just got to jump in like Shane did.
Well, I know that Kaylee and Evelyn have both been around to see the evolution of girls wrestling in Alabama. Kaylee, when you started, there was 41 girls in the state of Alabama that wrestled. Then it jumped to over 100, and then this year it's over 200. How do y'all feel about the girls and how they're competing this year versus last year? Are they more competitive, or are they, what do y'all think about your competition?
I would definitely say that this year there's a lot more competition than there was last year. Sparkman has some really good girls, especially in my weight class. I didn't even realize that like they had a wrestling team, but their girls teams really showed out this year, and they definitely weren't around last year, but the competition's gotten a lot better this year.
Daphne are the defending state champions in the girls division.
Yes, sir.
Julie's very proud of that. But I believe Thompson wants a little revenge this year, and it's in their house.
Yeah.
How are you going to defend your crown in their house?
We're just gonna go out there and do what we always do. Thompson's only beat us one time in one other tournament, and we beat them every other time. So hoping to follow that pattern and win.
Nice. So Julie, big year for trying to sanction girls wrestling. You want to talk?
Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, this is a big year for us. The vote for sanctioning was 2 years ago, and which came at a very odd time anyway. I think that's when COVID first came out, and there was obviously a lot of changes there. So there was a lot of trepidation, I believe, with schools, nervous about voting for a brand new sport when, to be honest with you, they were just trying to figure out how to keep classes open. Most of them didn't. In March, I think most schools actually closed, and that was right after the vote. So it's fairly understandable that there was definitely some resistance. Schools probably thinking, I can't think about this right now. I've got to think about what are we going to do with our kids for the next 6 months. So fast forward last 2 years, it's just been an incredible push by so many people in the state to really make this happen. Last year, it's just lightning speed of getting so many schools on board to having girls on their team. But what's truly remarkable is last year's state, we had, I believe Sean had said, 53 girls that were entered in the state tournament. It was a great state tournament. We have 141 girls. That's almost triple from last year, from 41 different schools. We have 41 teams coming to the state tournament on Saturday. I can't think of a single sport that can increase numbers like that in such a short period of time. I mean, that's truly remarkable. So I'm very hopeful that we will get the vote this year. And I know there's a lot of misunderstanding about why doesn't the AHSAA just go ahead and sanction it. Well, it doesn't quite work like that. There does have to be a vote of member schools. And I believe the magic number is 43. I can confirm with the state with that, see if that has changed at all this year. But and it's not coaches that vote, it's administrators that vote. So come February, there will be, I'm not 100% certain whether the vote comes through an email or through Dragonfly, or if there's an email to alert the administrators to go to Dragonfly and vote. But regardless of that, an administrator does need to log in, it does need to find the survey, and they have to vote yes, because if they don't vote at all, that's kind of a no vote. So if anyone's watching this and they've got a kid in a school and they really want to see this happen, just shoot an email to your principal and your AD, to both of them at the same time. Say, hey, this vote's coming up in February. Can we count on you guys to vote yes? That's what's really important.
And if we get every school that has a girls program to vote yes, it happens overwhelmingly.
Oh yeah, I mean, we have, 65 schools with at least one girl makes a team. That's it, just one. And the majority of teams aren't one. The majority of teams, we have at least several girls on a team. And so if we could even get most of those, we're going to have the numbers that we need. And there's so many girls, most of the weight classes this year, and it's not public just yet. I think it probably will be tomorrow, but we have nearly almost 16-man brackets in just about every weight class except for heavyweight. We're going to need a qualifier next year. So you can imagine how difficult it would be to do a qualifier for a non-sanctioned sport for a non-sanctioned state. I mean, we've grown so much, we have to sanction it. I mean, it's to the point we have to sanction it.
Yeah, but it's too bad we just changed our minds and decided to not sanction it so Matburn could be there. It's very.
You gotta stop.
No, I'm sorry. I have to stop her. Julie's going to hurt me.
Right. Yeah, I'll see you this weekend.
Yeah. Speaking of this weekend, if you're a girl wrestler and we point a camera in your direction, we want to hear you say, "Let us wrestle, sanction girls wrestling." I'm going to have that camera in everyone's face. We're going to get a huge photo. Dawn's going to take this big wide angle photo of all the girls out on the center mat. Then we're going to get them to chant on camera. We're going to send all this stuff to HSAA. And then, we're going to send the girls after them if they don't do it.
Yeah, I have a question for you.
Yeah. Oh,
Hey.
Jason's here.
Hey, Scott.
Yes.
Look, so Julie, it's for you and Scott, actually. How many girls do we need to clarify as a school as a girls team? Is it
That's
one?
One.
Is it 3? 1.
It's one. Mhm.
Okay,
Just one.
that's amazing because I was speaking to a couple coaches this weekend, and their biggest problem is they don't have enough girls to fill a team. Well, they don't understand that it only takes one girl to
Right.
make a team.
And the fact of the matter is, I mean, there are schools right now, very small schools that don't have all their weight classes for boys, and they're still a team, right?
There are
They
big
don't have-
schools that don't have all the
There
weight
are
classes.
big schools.
Yeah.
I don't think Daphne has all weight classes right now. So right. So it's one. It's one. So that's significant. And it may not be like that in other states, but for us, it is one.
Now, Jason sees girls both in his club wrestling, and then also he had a daughter, Jade, that competed last year in state. So I think he kind of sees it from a whole bunch of different angles. Jason, how is the club membership going with girls this year?
That's a great question, Don. So what I'm seeing is from the start of our youth program to where we're at right now, I've noticed we dropped off probably 15 to 20 girls each tournament now. And the parents that I know that I've talked to, they're telling me it's because they're sick of their girls wrestling boys. Like they got to travel to Georgia, they got to travel to Tennessee, they got to travel to Florida to wrestle in girl tournaments, and there's nothing available for them. So with it not sanctioned, like it's killing our feeder program. There's only the strong are going to survive out there against the boys, and that only lasts for so long. I mean, my daughter, who will be in wrestling high school next year, is on the fence. She's like, well, I mean, if they're strong right now in youth, I can't imagine what it's going to be like in high school. So if she doesn't have that opportunity, chances are she's probably not going to wrestle. And it's unfortunate because she's actually really good.
We're going to take care of that for you, Jason. We're going to make sure your girl gets on that girls team.
It's time. Like, our numbers are there, or our youth numbers are there. It's definitely time for Alabama to step up. We can't be the last.
I think Mississippi's got that covered.
They may-
I don't know.
They don't even have boys wrestling.
Yeah, they do. They're sanctioned now, man. It's
They've
coming.
been sanctioned. They just haven't had a state tournament. They've
That's
been.
right.
They just haven't had a boys state tournament in a long time. Now, I've seen some girls on weekends where there's not a tournament hop on the phone. I've seen them calling around to schools trying to find tournaments that they can get in. Are y'all, Kaylee and Evelyn, finding that you can find tournaments to wrestle in with other girls?
In Alabama, not really. We
Yeah.
usually go out of state and stuff to like national events to get girls matches.
Yeah, what everyone
Always,
said.
always been that way. Unfortunately, we used to team up with Team Georgia a lot, and well, we would try to hold a girl before Julie showed up. We had one girls tournament a year, and we had to bring in girls from all the neighboring states in order to have enough to run it. But I think we're getting to the point where everything's going to trickle down once this gets sanctioned, and the sisters of all the wrestlers are going to want to start wrestling in youth.
And I'm not going to articulate my question as clearly as Dawn did, and it won't be as well thought out, but it is a two-part question. I'll start with Evelyn. Evelyn, boys, mullets, yay or nay? We got to know your opinion, mullet or no mullet?
It depends. Okay, it depends on the person and the mullet.
Okay.
Some people can pull off
If-
a mullet is
I
what
don't
I'm
know.
saying.
You have to be a good wrestler to rock a mullet.
All right, that's a fair
I mean,
answer. I like
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Kyle
All right,
Watson.
What about
Hey,
tights?
Kaylee, hang on, my question for Kaylee, because I had to put Evelyn on the spot, so I have to put Kaylee on the spot. How many hair ties do you take with you to a tournament?
Usually about 5.
Okay, because I've noticed the past few tournaments that we've done, I'm noticing hair ties like on the side of the mat, and I'm like,
Yep.
well, that's new for me, but it's awesome. Obviously, I'm asking about hair. I have none, but yeah, I see all the girls are usually have their hair tied up.
It may not be the girls. It might
That's
be.
There's
true.
a lot of boys with long hair too.
This is true. This is true. Thus the mullet question. Yes.
Quite often, Shane and I have to go to the coach first and say, "Is that a boy or a girl?" before we go interview them, because we're not always sure.
It has honestly happened. It has honestly happened.
No.
It was at a younger, I think this was what, middle school, I think. They were younger girls and it was just hard to tell. It really was.
Maybe we edit that out.
I can edit anything, but hey, I only tell what really happens in the real world.
Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe we should. Maybe we shouldn't.
Well, now I have to, now that you said it.
Now, Evelyn, you're in 9th grade, and Kaylee, you're a junior. Kaylee, have you been approached by any colleges yet for scholarships, or have you started looking at schools to wrestle at?
Yeah, I've been messaged by some, and at Super 32, one came up to me and was talking to me, but it's nothing set in stone.
Is that something you want to do?
Yes, sir.
It's freestyle. Probably a lot of fun. I happen to know quite a few women's coaches. So
Huntington announced that they were going to
Right. That's very exciting.
yeah. And I know the Life University coach, and they're ranked number 2 this season. I know the Campbellsville coach, and they've been national champs several years. Cumberland's, Delaware Valley. So you just let me know if you want me to have them contact you, and we'll take care of that.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Do you know what you want to do in college?
No, not yet.
No, any kind of field you want, and what do you want to be when you grow up? I mean, I still don't know, but
I mean, I can't lie. I want to be a real estate agent when I grow up.
really
Yeah.
nice. You got to be on that $1 million Holmes show that I saw. Not the Evelyn Holmes show,
Thinking.
the $1 million.
She wants to drive a convertible and sell homes. What's wrong with that?
Nothing at all. Get into sell those big buildings.
So I want to make a claim on Matburn Wrestling. I get the emails. I see the USA Wrestling stuff that comes in. I always look to see, is there any national USA tournaments that are going to be hosted in Alabama? And Alabama's never on there, as one of the states. And I do believe we will have a girls national tournament here before we actually have a boys USA tournament.
Shane,
I think that is absolutely something that could happen. And I think that is a great idea, especially a segue once we sanction, put out a tournament like that, and then we'll automatically be able to pull the states from the Southeast.
Yeah,
There was some movie that said if we build it,
yes.
Yeah, if we build it, it will come. So
Wow, isn't that a novel idea?
Yeah, we got to build the hype and we got to just make it happen.
It can happen. We've done it before.
It works.
Yeah.
Now, Matt, is he still in here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Okay. I've heard from some coaches that have told me it is easier to recruit the middle school girls than it is the high school girls. Do you think that there needs to be more of a push to get these middle school coaches to recruit girls so that you have them coming into high school?
I mean, that would be nice. But for us, I mean, we don't have a middle school coach. It's pretty much just me and Coach Phils. And really, I think that's a great idea. I think one thing that's also tough for us is there's just so many things that kids can get into at our school to where, you ask this girl, she's got like, we've got like something called a winter guard. I don't really know what it is, but it's something they do during this season. There's just so much that girls are doing instead. And really, like, I think the middle school thing's a great idea because, that way we get to them before anybody else does. We have in the past, like normally every year I go to the middle schools to get interest. But I've had some girls kind of on the fence, but it's never just pulled through. But if we can get a middle school coach to kind of push that, that would be amazing.
Do you do trips to elementary schools at all to do demonstrations?
I haven't went and did anything like that. Because when I guess my first full off season after our very first year, I wasn't able to get over there mostly because I was like, okay, I can come over at 1:30. They're like, no, we need you to come at like 8 a.m. So, like teacher life, you pretty much are kind of stuck at one time frame and everybody else is on a different. So I haven't been able to do that, but our youth program's growing pretty rapidly. So that's been a huge, huge blessing for us. That's I feel like with any kind of program that the youth is kind of like the cornerstone, or at least promotes the sport enough to where you may have 100 kindergartners show up, but the 20 or 25 that stick around by the time they're in the 8th grade, they're all in. So I haven't really went to the elementary schools, but I do try to push at the middle schools as much as I can.
Okay. Yeah, that's something that Thompson does really well, is that they go to the elementary schools and they play games with the kids during gym class. They'll bring a girl wrestler and a boy wrestler to show them both boys and girls wrestle. And, they teach them how to do the tiger tail and the toe touching and all those wrestling games that you guys play.
Yeah. Got to get them to do the fun stuff first.
Yeah. Then they think it's fun until they get to high school, and it probably is.
And then we bark at them. So
Kaylee, you so obviously the Daphne team's got quite a few girls. Do you find it easier to have a big squad versus you and maybe one or two other girls, like you and another girl that are training partners? Is it a lot easier to have a lot of girls on the team?
Yeah, for sure. With a lot of girls on the team, our coach is like taking a lot more interest, and he wants to take us to more tournaments, like high school tournaments. And like we've gone to at Trustville, we go to Gulf Shores all the time. They tend to host a lot of tournaments. So it's a lot easier than it was like last year, because last year we didn't go to that many tournaments. Like we went to ones that were like here and they're closer. But now that like we have a big team and we're like returning state champs, like he just wants us to go and expose girls wrestling everywhere.
Once you became state champs, did a lot of other girls want to join the team after that?
Actually, yes. We have a lot of new girls. A lot of middle schoolers joined our team.
Great. How does practice work for you guys when you have all those girls on the team? Is it segregated where girls only wrestle with girls, or do they take the top girls and have them train with the boys?
It's kind of a mix. Like a lot of girls choose to train with other girls, but like, I mean, today I wrestled with Julie's son, Ethan, at practice. So it's just like, just depends on the day, I guess. He treats us like we're all the same. Like if the boys mess up, the girls are doing sprawls for them too. So
nice. You got to put those boys in their place.
Evelyn, you wrestled in middle school. When did you start noticing? When was it always equal when you were in middle school as far as the ability to win against a boy? And
sorry, yeah.
And then when did you start noticing it changing?
This year it probably really, because I bumped up a weight class from last year in 8th grade, and you can kind of like tell like all the boys are like getting like way stronger than what they used to be, because like 106 is usually around the smaller kids, and they're probably also in middle school because we don't really have a lot of middle school teams in Alabama. But you can kind of start to see like the transition to from like middle school to high school. All the boys are just getting like way stronger and stuff.
I want to hear about your brother, the fabulous Freddie.
Oh, he was just in here a minute ago.
Was he? Is he going to come
Yes.
say hello to us?
He can. He'll come in here in a second. He's over there beating on the wall
Is
right
Freddie
now.
your biggest fan?
Freddie, yes, he is definitely one of my biggest fans.
I'm looking forward
Always
to
make-
meeting him on Saturday.
Yeah, for sure. You'll probably hear him. He'll be beating on something to make a beat or something. He's
Now,
coming.
When we had Yasmini last year, my son went to Spain Park, and I always noticed that when Yasmini wrestled, the boys cheered louder and harder for her than they did it for their own teammates. Do you find that that's the case in Enterprise?
Hi, Freddie.
Hey, Freddie.
So yeah, I have personally noticed the girls are much more fun to watch wrestle because they're on the mat cheering for their friends. Sometimes they're cheering for other teams, girls. They're all great sports. They hug and congratulate each other after the matches. This is true, right, Kaylee? I'm not making this up.
No, yeah, you're right.
Girls are the best sports. I don't want to say sportswomen around. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to more of that on Saturday, and the whole Matburn crew will be there Saturday. I think.
Just
Maybe
for
Greg
you
will.
all, weigh-ins are at 8 o'clock, so we're probably guessing to weigh in about 141 girls is going to take a little bit. So I would say wrestling probably starts somewhere between 9:30 and 10 o'clock for
Okay.
those of you that want to come. And of course, we'll start with the championships and then the semis, and then the championship afternoon. I don't know. What do you think? 3 or 4 maybe? After
I don't
the
know.
afternoon?
We're going to be there all day, but we're probably only going to
Yeah.
cover the finals, the placing matches.
Right. I'm
So,
thinking
but-
the finals will probably start somewhere between 3 and 4, probably.
Right. So
It's gonna be a good day.
we'll cover the finals like we did last year, but in the day leading up, we're going to get all our interviews and compile all our stuff for the AHSAA.
Yes, definitely.
Right. So I want to wish you two good luck this weekend. Don't be shy. Come up and say hello to us.
For sure.
Tell your
Excited.
mom I said hello, Evelyn.
Hey. She's over here too.
Yeah, I'll see her on Saturday. Thanks for joining us, Coach Matt.
Yes, sir.
I keep forgetting
you.
Jason's not there because he's turned off his camera. So thanks for joining us, Jason and Julie. We'll see everybody on Saturday. This is-
See everybody Saturday. Everybody drive safe.
Thanks
Can't
for
wait.
watching Matburn. Matburn out.
See ya.
Yeah.